Yes, good day. Happy Friday. Thank God it's weekend here on Crystal Education TV. I am Choose Crystal, welcoming you to another edition of the Education Update. Yes, today is Friday, and in our pattern, we did visit some of the schools, and we have this stakeholders chat, that's resumption chat with Mrs. Bossa, the director, Seed of Glory International School in Phase 4, Abuja. She gives her shout out and then talks about the resumption, talked about the good things that are expected for the new year. Let's go hear what she had to say, just a little tip of what she said in this resumption chat. I'll be right back.
Thank God for all the teachers, thank God for all the pupils, thank God for the students. And I also want to thank God for all the management team, for all their works in the past and all the plans that we are going to execute for this year. Yes, this year we have our inter-house sports that will be coming up shortly. It's one of the things that is, that we are planning for now, and every houses are already, having their practice, and they are doing a great job to make sure that that event, become a successful one. Also, in terms of academics, God has been helping us. We have put a lot of things in place. Now the school is, growing, and God is adding so much to us, and it's not been easy for every one of us. We are all parents, including myself. So we should encourage ourselves. The situation of the country has not been, palatable, but we thank God because God has been seeing us through anyway. So I just want to encourage them. Let's keep praying and keep believing in God, because the way it is now, it is only God that can see us through. I just want to encourage them. There's nothing we can do. These children has been given to us, to be a caretaker unto them. And we just have to do our best. And I know that God Almighty that gave these children to us, He will continue to help us to do the needful to these children. So the provision by the grace of God we provided, God will provide for every one of them to be able to train these children. It has not been easy. We know, because we are also parents, we also have our children in various schools there. So I just want to encourage them never to give up. Keep praying, keep trying their best, and the Lord Almighty will continue to bless them beyond their own even imagination.
Back. Yes, that's Mrs. Bossa there, praying for the students, praying for everybody, and joining parents to do their best. Yes, things are hard, but these children are already given to us, and God is going to provide for them, for us to be able to meet their needs. Yes, now this is the headlines as they were published, captured in the dailies today, talking about education news headlines. Now we take off with the Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper has the story: Foundation gifts Bayelsa students scholarship. Foundation gifts Bayelsa students scholarship. Okay, then this story still on the Punch. Dawn seeks collaboration to tackle environmental degradation. Don't seek collaboration to tackle environmental degradation. Now we get on to the Daily Post, and the Daily Post is having this story: Taraba's ambitious teaching qualification. Yes, Taraba's ambitious teaching qualification. Remember, we did report about the fact that the governor of Taraba State has said that teachers in secondary school must have master's degree certification. So this story is actually a feature. Say the fact that a state government could rise any day, any time to set new standard for teaching strongly suggests how far teaching still remains from being a profession in Nigeria. And I bet to agree with that, because when you talk about teaching profession, when a government could decide who teaches, how they teach, then the profession does not really have a strong hold on the professionals that are practicing there. I was talking to a school owner earlier today, and I said, we don't have teachers in our classroom, we have workers. That's a topic for another day. Then we move on to this story still on the Daily Trust. It says BUK set to enhance salary packages over Japa syndrome. Yes, BUK, that's Bayero University, is saying they are going to adjust salaries so that they can help avoid Japa. The Vice Chancellor, Bayero University, Kano, BUK, Professor Sagi Abbas, says the institution is not comfortable with the trend of lecturers leaving the country in droves. Yes, who should be comfortable? If the institution is comfortable, then something must be wrong with them. You can go to our website www.crystaledunews.com.ng to read up all the story so you can be well informed on what they are saying. Now we move on to the cable. The cable news have the story. Unilag LASU to host 2024 African University Game. Unilag LASU to host 2024 African University Game. Now that is all we have in the cable. We get on to the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian is having the story. Educationist plans scholarship for 2,000 out of school children, flays government on negligence. Yes, they are planning to take 2,000 out of school children back to school, and they are saying government is neglecting them. Now we move on to this one. Yes, there's a story saying eStars unveils classroom of the future. Yeah, classroom of the future. You need to know what that is. Go to see that on our site. Then Anchor University kicks off law postgraduate in business administration program, 2 others. Anchor University begins law program, postgraduate in business administration program, and 2 other programs. You want to know what these programs are? Go and read up that story. Now we move on to this story. Kwara police suspend lecturers to mourn slain students. Kwara police suspends lectures to mourn slain students. The management of Kwara State Polytechnic has suspended lectures for 2 days to mourn one of its students, Ige Joseph, of the Electrical Electronics Engineering Department, who died in a motorcycle accident last Tuesday. Well, that is trying to put some value on lives. But I wish the government of Nigeria could think about this, talking about lives that have been lost, kidnapped, bomb blasts, and so on. We really need to be in a mourning mood in this country. Now, still on that, we have the story: how poor planning, corruption ruined 200 billion school feeding initiative in states. Poor planning, corruption ruined 200 billion naira school feeding initiative. You know, the saga that is going on, talking about the Ministry of Humanitarian and all that, school feeding and what have you. So many stories to talk about that, but that's not our beat for today. Let's move on to the Nation newspaper. And the Nation newspaper have the story: Unilag graduates inducted into NSC. Unilag graduates inducted into NSC. Then we have this other story still on the Nation newspaper: pupils to study environment education. Pupils to study environment education. That is in Lagos State. Lagos State is to include environmental education into curriculum as part of plans to ensure environmental sustainability. That is what we are getting now. Soludo clears 1.2 million exam fees of 54 prison inmates. Soludo, that's the governor of Anambra State, clears 1.2 million naira exam fees for 54 prison inmates. Of course, this story was captured yesterday. Remita continues okaying commission incentive for JAMB EPIN's agent. Okay, now we'll move on to the This Day newspaper. NEBO calls for review of the tertiary institution curriculum. I cannot agree less. Former Minister of Power and former Vice Chancellor of University of Nigeria Nsukka, Professor Chinedu Nebo, has called for a review of the curriculum of tertiary institutions in Nigeria. Indeed, the tertiary institution curriculum need to be reviewed, because if we have graduates that cannot bring value to the table, then our education system has problem. I'll go on a short break, and when I come back, we move on to Naira metrics. Don't go anywhere. And I'm actually happy to tell you that this year, especially this term, we have decided to bring to you the Crystal Education Media Student Presenters Challenge. Yes. Now, as I speak with you, the form is available on our site. So you go to www.crystaledunews.com.ng and you will see the registration form for the challenge. It is pinned on on the page there, so you can actually fill out the form. And then you need to, when you fill the form and submit, there's an information. Take your time, go through that information so you can actually post in your video. Yes, you are expected to go to our channel, go to our website, yes, and then pick any of the news updates as we usually put them there every week. Then do a 3-minute video, so you don't really need to go through all the news, update the headlines. So do a 3-minute video if you think you are capable enough to be the Crystal Education Media TV student presenter. Now we get on to Nairametrics. FCTA to build 1.7 billion smart secondary schools. FCTA to build 1.7 million naira smart secondary school. The Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, has allocated 1.7 billion naira in the 2024 budget to launch a pilot smart secondary school in the Federal Capital Territory. That is coming from Mr. Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, revealed in Abuja on Thursday during the event honoring the achievement of the public school students in academics and sport. Okay, of course, this story was also seen in the People's Gazette as well as the Punch and the Authority newspaper. You can do well to pick any of those papers and know what they are talking about. The FCTA approving 1.7 billion naira. Then the story still on Nairametrics. We have Lagos State College of Nursing issues warning on fake admission forms. Lagos State College of Nursing issues warning on fake admission forms. So if you have gotten any admission form talking about from Lagos State College of Nursing, you have to check to ensure it is not fake. You can do well to read up that story for more detail. Now, this is coming from the foreign scene. We have Ottawa University in Canada announces $11 million worth of scholarship for African students. Yes, you want to take advantage of that? Then go see ottawauniversity.com to see what they have to say. Now we get on to News Diary. News Diary is trending with the story: Katsina government, UNICEF to enroll 4,000 out-of-school girls official. That's coming from the officials. Okay, hoping that 4,000 out-of-school girls are to get back to school right there in Katsina State. Now we come back to the People's Gazette. People's Gazette. Okay, People's Gazette also captured that UNICEF story. We continue on that trend. We have Unica VC bags Nance Life Patron Award. Unica VC bags Nance Life Patron Award. Of course, UNN SANU elects new ESCO. UNN SANU elects new ESCOs. And then we move on to the Independent newspaper. Unilag convocation. NNPCL celebrates Akamu's perfect score feat. NNPCL celebrates Akamu's perfect score feat. Now we move on to the Business Day. And Business Day is saying Christian clerics give scholarship to 100 university students. Christian clerics give scholarship to 100 university students. Now to the Daily Post. It has the story: 2 kids disappear while returning from school in Umuahia. Now this is a very sad one. To BBN News, we have this: UNICEF's research program empowering and educating adolescent girls in Nigeria. I think this is also related to that story from Katsina. Okay, now we move on. Is this the last story? Yes, it is the last story for today. NYSC and SMIDAN strengthen partnership to boost SMEs and empower youths in Nigeria. The National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, in Nigeria is bolstering its alliance with the Small and Medium Scale Enterprise Development Agency, SMIDAN, to facilitate an optimal environment for core members. The collaboration aims to bolster the growth of small and medium scale enterprise SMEs in the nation and enable core members to make significant contribution to the nation economy. You can read more on the stories. They are right there on our channel, crystaledunews.com.ng. You can see all the headlines. You know how we do it on our website. We chronicle all the newspaper headlines that align to education. Where else do you want to get the education news if not from crystaleducationnews.com.ng? So you need to go visit it regularly to know what is happening, and join us here on Crystal Education TV every weekdays as we chronicle all the headlines and give you the update as they happen. I am Choose Crystal, and I'm saying if your child have not entered for the Crystal Student Presenters Challenge, do well. Go online and register them. Do a 3 minutes video like I promised the schools we participated in this weekend. I will be dropping on how to post your video on Google Drive so you can share the link with us. So look out for that. From the Crystal Education family and all the entire crew, we wish you a lovely weekend. Goodbye.